Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of Neon Safe. Today we will rank the champions in Bloodline. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
The ranking will be based on PvP battles, and goes from the S tier and all the way down to F tier. Simply put, the S tiers are the must-have champions in Bloodline, while the A tier champions are considered to be very good and worth investing in. The B tiers are average, and thus we may also invest in them, but we shouldn't pour all our resources into these champions. As for the C tiers, the champions of this rank are not very good, and may not contribute much to the team. They can be good in certain settings, against specific champions and whatnot, but they are not worth it in the long run. D tiers are straight up weak and should not be placed in the team, and F tiers are absolutely horrible and may even hinder the other champions of our team. So F tiers should absolutely not be used in battles no matter what. Additionally, we may also come face to face with S+ tiers in this video. Those are the meta champions of Bloodline, aka the best of the best, and we definitely want those champions for our team. That being said, let us begin with our Akuna clan. The female of this clan has proven to thrive the best in either the back row or mid row of the battlefield. She focuses on sustaining herself and the teammates with shields, but I don't think she looks super impressive to be honest. I feel like we may place her in a solid B tier, since she kinda helps out, but not in a game-changing way. The male however looks much better. He deals AoE-based damage and also prefers the mid or back row of the battlefield. I'd say we may place him in the solid S tier, since he clearly can make a difference in our team. He may not be strong enough for the meta, but the normal S tier champs are still a must-have. Our Asen clan consists of a female who both heals and buffs our allies, and a male who buffs allies and deals damage to the enemies. Both of them are statistically thriving the best in either the mid row or back row. I used to think highly of this clan once upon a time, but they no longer have proven to be useful in battle unfortunately. I believe the female Asen has fallen to the D tier, while the male Asen is more of a C tier. So we should not aim for this clan in my opinion. If we have no other option, then we may place the male Asen into our team temporarily, but the female should not be used at all. Our Arbiter clan has a female champion who debuffs and disrupts the enemy, and a male who buffs and heals our allies. Both champions are preferably placed in either the mid row or back row on the battlefield. I honestly think these are high-tier champs, but not enough to hit the S tier, unfortunately. They have proven to be above average though, so I'd say both of them fit in a solid A tier nowadays. This makes them worth aiming for as long as they are compatible with the allies of our team. Our Dawnbreakers consist of a female champion who protects and cleanses the allies from debuffs. She sounds great, but I wouldn't even think of her as a B tier. Her poor performance in battle has pushed her down to the C tier unfortunately. The male champion however, is qualified enough for the B tier. He debuffs the enemies, buffs the allies and can one-shot the enemy in certain situations. So we may preferably choose the male over the female if we want this clan in our team. Our Kojiki clan consists of a female and male champion who I personally believe to be B tiers. The female buffs the allies' energy, and statistically works the best in the back row. The male buffs allies and focuses on crowd control, and may perform better in either the front or mid row. Like we discussed in the previous video about Furukodafumi secret strategy and build, this male Kojiki may work really well together with the Furukodafumi hybrid. So if we have Furukodafumi from before, we may consider picking the male for our team if we are opting for this clan. Our Silken Crown has a male and female who both focus on crowd control and damage dealing. The male has proven to work well in both the mid and front row, and I'd say he genuinely looks like S tier. The female on the contrary does not make it to the high tiers unfortunately, and I'd say she is more of a B tier. Also, unlike the male, she has proven to work the best in the back row of the battlefield. Our White Eye clan consists of a female who buffs and heals our teammates, and a male who buffs our teammates and debuffs the enemies. This clan statistically thrives the best in the back or midfield in battle. I'd say the male looks like a decent and average B tier, while the female is more of a C tier in battle. So we may opt for the male if we want to, but I'd say we should steer clear off the female White Eye since she in general doesn't contribute much to our team. Both female and male of our Bloom Uncounted clan focus on debuffing the enemies and being the sub-DPS of our team. They statistically thrive the best in the front or mid row, and I'd say both male and female Bloom currently are solid B tiers. This means they are average and we may use them in battle if they are compatible with our team, and if we have no better clans to choose from. Our Vina clan has a female and male champion who both focus on damaging and debuffing the enemy. This clan has also proven to thrive the best in the front or mid row of the battlefield. I feel like there is a slight difference in performance between the male and female champion of this clan. The female is very strong in PvP, and I believe she is at A tier. But the male on the contrary doesn't really make it to the high tiers, unfortunately. He is still useful though, which is why we may place him in a solid B tier. So, we can select the male if he is compatible with our team, but I personally think the female is more worth it in the long run. Our Crooked Fin clan consists of a male champion who deals single target damage, and in most situations works the best in either the front or mid row of the battlefield. The male is unfortunately lacking in battle, which makes him a C tier. The female of this clan, however, buffs herself and debuffs the enemy champion by temporarily eating him or her. It is a very unique ability she has, and I believe it brings her up to the B tier. Same as the male, in most cases she functions the best in either the mid row or the back row of the battlefield. Our Deer clan has a male who focuses on crowd control and buffing the allies, while the female deals AoE-based damage and buffs herself. Both male and female look like high-tier champs in my opinion, but I am especially impressed with the female of this clan. Not only do I see her as a S tier, but I believe her to be a meta champion of Bloodline. She has proven to be incredibly useful, particularly in PvP battles. Thus I'd say we may place her in the S+ tier. The male is not bad either, but I'd say he lands on a solid A tier nowadays. So if we have to choose either the male or female of this clan, we definitely should prioritize acquiring the female duer. Meta champions are literally the best of the best, and can make a massive impact on the battlefield. Our Maroborn clan's male and female champs have proven to function the best in the back row of our battlefield. The female of this clan deals AoE-based damage and launches buffs, while the male deals damage and prevents the enemy from healing themselves for some time. Both champions have proven to work spectacularly well in battle, and I'd say they fit in the solid S tier these days. So if we have the chance, we definitely should go for either male or female Maroborn, or perhaps even both of them. Our Dumbringer clan has a tankish female and sub-DPS type of male. Both of these champions have proven to be useful in the front row, but the male may also work well in the mid row, to be honest. I honestly do not think this clan is worth it since the female lands on a C tier, while the male is currently all the way down to the D tiers. And we may not see these champions climb any higher in the ranking, since this clan is kinda old. So it is much better for us to steer clear of these Dumbringers altogether. Our Javapaa clan has a male and female champion who both act like tanks and do crowd control effects. However, I do not think the male can go any higher but to the C tier. He simply doesn't contribute enough to be considered as worth it. The female on the other hand is more of an average typical B tier. So she is not incredibly powerful, but she works alright in the team. Both female and male have proven to thrive the best in the front row of the battlefield, by the way. So we may consider that placement if we do decide to place a champion of this clan into our team. Our Yukroll clan is the type of clan I really do not suggest we use for PvP battles. The female is a C-tier sub-DPS who also acts like a tank in a way, while the male is a completely disastrous F-tier who only acts as a sub-DPS. Neither male or female Yukroll reaches the average tiers, so it may be a wise decision for us to skip this clan when looking for PvP potentials. Our Lionstone clan consists of a female and male champion who focus on being a tank and buffing our teammates. Both female and male of this clan are statistically thriving the best in the front row, which makes sense with their tank roles. Even though the male and female are designed to do the same thing in battle, there is a huge tier difference between them in my opinion. The female has proven to be a brilliant S tier, while the male doesn't even make it to the B tier. So we should absolutely opt for the female over the male if we want a tank in our team. Our Jin clan has a promising sub-DPS female champion and a below-average supporter male. I believe the female to belong to the A tiers, while the male unfortunately is more of a C tier. Both champions of this clan have statistically proven to work well in either the front or mid row of the battlefield, but I highly suggest we avoid getting the male from this clan and instead aim for the female. Our NAS clan consists of a male and female champion who acts kinda tankish, and who also take on the role as sub-DPS champs. We really should avoid placing any of these NAS champions into our team, to be honest, since they have not proven to perform well in PvP battles or any battles at all. The female is currently a C tier, while the male is a D tier. Actually, now that I think about it, this clan doesn't even perform well in the districts, and they do not have a great clan trait either. So it is definitely worth skipping the NAS clan altogether. Our Warbringers consist of average B tier female and male champions. The female deals damage and does crowd controlling effects, while the male deals single target damage. Their best placement would be either the front row or mid row of the battlefield. So we may use either the female or male of this clan depending on our current team comp, and depending on the compatibility, etc. Our Asafar clan has a decent B tier female champion. She has special buffs which allows herself and the allies of the team to take less damage from ultimate attacks. So she sounds alright to have in the team. But the male Asafar, on the other hand, has proven to be truly awesome in battle. He belongs to the high tiers, and I'd say he fits in the solid S tier thanks to the special abilities of his skills. He deals damage, taunts the enemies, and launches a very beneficial aura effect. Both female and male of this clan have proven to work well in the front row of the battlefield, by the way, so we may try out that placement if we choose the Asafar clan for our team. Our Choir Discordant clan consists of a A-tier female tank who statistically works the best in the front row. The male of this clan, however, is more average, and I don't think he makes it to the high tiers, unfortunately. I'd say our male choir belongs to the solid B tiers, since he doesn't have many over-the-top effects in his skills. So it is alright using him for our team, but we may want to aim for the female instead if we have the choice. Our Crimson clan has a female champion who focuses on DPS and crowd control. She has proven to be a little bit above average on the battlefield, and I'd say she belongs to the A tier in PvP battles. The male Crimson disrupts the enemy from launching attacks, and his skills have qualified him for the A tiers as well, in my opinion. The female and male are great in the front row, but we can place the male in the mid row as well, depending on the circumstances. Our Estri Spawn has a rather useless C tier female champion, who is supposed to function as a sub-DPS. But the male of this clan is definitely worth having in our team. The male tanks in battle, and has valuable effects which led him all the way up to the S tier. We may want to place him in the front, as he statistically has proven to perform better with that placement. Oh, by the way, this is the S tiers we have mentioned so far. While we all take a look at these lovely must-have champions, allow me to announce something quickly. We will start a new set of giveaways that are based on the channel subscriber count. To partake in the chance of winning real-life US dollars, all we have to do is subscribe to the channel. More information about this giveaway will be shared in the description below. That being said, let us move on to rank the next clan. Our Kojiki clan consists of a completely useless F-tier female who actually hinders our team's performance. We should never place her into our team, but we may use her for the districts instead since she is kinda decent there. The male Kojiki also doesn't impress us in any way. He is a solid C tier, who is supposed to tank the team, but he just doesn't meet the expectations we are looking for. It is better to skip over this clan and aim for the better ones. Our Nordlcer clan is a very recent one who consists of a decent male who deals damage and does crowd control. He is a B tier in my opinion, and he has proven to work well in either the front row or mid row in battle. The female of this clan is currently a brilliant option to us. She is one of our very few meta champions, who buffs the allies of our team, and debuffs the enemies. This S+ tier works the best in either the back row or mid row of the battlefield in most cases. So we really want the female Nordlcer for our team, to mess with the enemies while buffing the allies. Our Panda clan consists of a female and male tank who both are great in the front row of the battlefield. The female may also be placed in the back row, since she has proven to function well there. Anyways, I honestly think of both the female and male as solid B tiers nowadays. They may not be super great in PvP battles, but they get the job done and keep the team floating. Our Sallyhorn clan is one of those champions we should just skip past. They have proven to be really bad tanks who land on the D tiers. It makes sense though, since this clan literally is the first clan of Bloodline, and thus they have been continuously pushed down by our newer champions. Our Selphos clan has a high-tier female champion who deals damage and buffs the enemies. The female is not great enough for the S tier, but I'll say she makes it to the A tiers. The male is more of an average B tier who also deals damage, but instead of buffing the allies, he debuffs the enemies. Both of our Selphos champions have proven to thrive the best in either the back row or mid row of the battlefield. Our Lascivious Death clan is currently the newest champion release of Bloodline, and this clan consists of a male who mainly debuffs the enemies and sustains the allies. He has proven to be great in battle, but not exactly great enough for the S tiers. Yet I believe he fits in the solid A tiers, since he contributes with more than average in PvP battles. As for the female, she focuses on crowd control and acts like a sub-DPS. She is a wild card where her skills are overall weird and difficult to measure. But from her performance so far, I'd say the female Lascivious may also belong to the A tiers. The female is statistically better in the back row or mid row of the battlefield, while the male has proven to work well in the front row. By the way, we also have to keep in mind that the male and female of this clan are linked together, which means they may perform better if we use them both in our team. Anyways, moving on to the next clan now. Our Elith clan has a female champion who debuffs the enemies and deals AoE damage. I honestly do not think she is a great pick for our team, as she doesn't put in a lot of effort in battle. She mostly fits in the C tier since she has some uses, but I do not recommend having her in our team even so. The male of this clan deals single target damage and has proven to be even worse. He does not live up to our expectations, and thus I'd say he falls into the D tier unfortunately. We may use this clan for the districts, but apart from that, these champions are pretty much useless in PvP battles. We have 5 clans remaining, if I didn't miscalculate or miss any. So let us continue to see if the last clans are any good. Our Goulung clan has a female who drains energy from the enemy, and a male who debuffs the enemy while acting as a sub-DPS. Both champions prefer to be placed in the back row for max contribution, but the male may also work well in the mid row. From the male's performance in battle, he does not impress us much. I don't think we can even consider him as part of the average tier, because of his lack of effort. But yet he doesn't fall to the very bottom, and thus I'd say he is sort of a C tier nowadays. As for the female, she is way more worth it in my opinion. From her results in battle, I'd say she has made her way to the A tiers. So female Goulung is not the very top of the top, but we may invest our resources into her, if she is compatible with the allies of our team. Our Kivik clan consists of a single target damage dealing female and male champion, who both have statistically proven to work the best in either the back or mid row of the battlefield. I have a great feeling from this clan, and I believe we may consider them both for the high tiers. From what we have seen so far, the female seems stronger compared to the male, and I honestly think she may be one of the S tiers. As for the male, he is still really good in PvP battles, and he has to be above average as well. I'd say we may place him in the solid A tier, since he works brilliantly, but not exactly at the level of our female Kivik. Our Parade clan has a female and male champion who both deal single target damage to the enemy. I honestly do not think either of these champions are any good for our team, as they have proven to lack in battle. I believe the male champion belongs to the C tier as of now, while the female champion has fallen to a useless D tier. We may want to skip this clan, but if we already have them from before, we may use them in the districts. Our Thunderlords consists of a female who deals single target damage and a male who focuses on crowd control and buffs. I believe the female to be above average in PvP battles, and I'd say she may be a solid A tier. As for the male, he is unfortunately not as great in PvP, but I still believe him to be useful enough for the average B tier. We may want to invest our resources into the female over the male, since she may be a greater pick in the long run. The last clan of today is our Tidestorms. Both female and male champions of this clan are single target DPS champs, who statistically work the best in the back row of the battlefield. To be perfectly honest with you all, I do not think either male or female are qualified enough for the average B tiers. These champions have proven to be C tiers since they do not have much to contribute within battle. The clan used to be great once upon a time, but not anymore, and thus I suggest skipping them. This all being said and done, how would you rank these champions? Feel free to share your own opinions with us in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more contents like this. We highly appreciate your support and contribution, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye.